What is a story? It seems so basic, right? But what if I told you that for one writer, finding the answer to that very question took an entire decade? Today, we're going to dive into that journey because it completely changed everything for them.
Yeah, I know. What is a story? It sounds almost too simple, maybe even a little silly to ask. But for the writer at the heart of our explainer today, this question wasn't simple at all. It was a huge mystery that took years and years to figure out.
And look, we're not talking about a few weeks of writer's block. We're talking 10 years, a full decade of working as a professional, all while this one single question was just hanging over their head.
All right, so let's jump back to the very beginning of this whole thing, to what we're calling the 10-year question.
Okay, picture this. It's 2011. Our writer has already put in the work. We're talking 5 practice screenplays and is now officially starting their professional career. They're in the game. But right from the get-go, this one question starts to, well, haunt them. And you know what the most frustrating part was? The question felt like a total cliche. It's the kind of thing every writer probably mulls over. But no matter what, a real solid, satisfying answer just wasn't coming. It's kind of like knowing you have to breathe, but having no idea what air actually is. So this leads us to the next chapter in the journey. This was a long stretch of just creating without really knowing the why. Let's call it the unconscious journey. And get this, during all this time, this period of not really knowing, they weren't just sitting around. Nope. They wrote 6 full-length feature screenplays. Think about that. Actively, professionally telling stories, all without being able to define what a story even is. This whole unconscious creation phase lasted for 9 years and 10 months. I mean, that's practically a decade of building a career on pure gut feeling, on instinct. It really shows you just how powerful intuition can be for creative people. So the big takeaway here is the difference between feeling something and understanding it. This writer was in the trenches, doing the work every single day. But that core principle, the absolute bedrock of their craft, was still a complete mystery to them. And then, after nearly 10 long years, something changed. A light bulb went off. This was the moment it all clicked into place, the idea that story is life. So let's just recap the timeline here. It all starts back in January 2011. Then, for almost a decade, 6 screenplays get written. And then, boom, November 2020, while writing the very first scene of their 7th screenplay, the answer just appeared. And it wasn't some huge, dramatic lightning strike. It was this quiet little question that just sort of bubbled up from their subconscious. Isn't a story life? That's it. After a decade of searching, that one simple thought changed the entire game. And with that new lens, the writer looked back and it all made perfect sense. Every single one of those 6 screenplays they'd written, without even realizing it, was about one thing at its core: someone's life.
Okay, so this personal breakthrough didn't just stay personal. It blossomed into this amazing universal framework. The author now calls it the core formula of creation.
So the writer first scribbled this whole idea down, basically boiling down a decade of searching into one simple chart. But let's break down the logic behind that formula, because it's something any of us can use. Okay, let's walk through this. It's super simple, but really powerful. Step 1, a story is, at its heart, about a life. Step 2, and what is every life made of? A whole spectrum of emotions, right? Step 3, so to make sense of all those emotions, you need a system, a way to sort them. And step 4, well, that system is what we call genre. This completely changes how you think about genre, doesn't it? It's not just a sticker you slap on a movie poster like comedy or thriller. In this framework, genre becomes a tool. It's the standard you use to classify the exact emotions that your character's life, your story, is built from. So, what happens after a discovery like this? I mean, how does it change you? For this writer, it was like seeing the world and their own work with a brand new pair of eyes. The change was just massive. Before, the writer was working on instinct, right? They knew the formula deep down, but they couldn't put it into words. But afterwards, they became a conscious creator. They could finally understand, talk about, and use this powerful framework on purpose. And the impact was profound. The author says that this shift from being an unconscious writer to a conscious one who understood this formula, story is life, life is emotion, genre is how you classify it, That was the single biggest, most important change in their entire career. Period.
So this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about for our own ideas. If every story is a life, and every life is made of emotion, then maybe the real starting point for a new project isn't the plot or even the character. Maybe it's this. What emotion does your story truly begin with?